And who are you that would dare enter my courts unannounced? Let's hope your manners are as shiny as your sword. For you gaze upon the Shadow Queen, and I do not know what trickery has guided you here. But if you have come to stop me, your efforts are futile. I will take what is rightfully mine, and those who would stand in my way will find there are far worse things than death. But do not fret, my noble wanderer, for I am a gracious host. So stay, but do not stray far from my courts, for I may have use for you yet. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Monday evening here on Kobold Press. I am Little Red Dot. I will be your GM and, I don't know, your resident Kobold for the day. I'm back with this crew for what is the finale of Courts of the Shadow Fae. It is our second season. They have traveled, not really, they've traveled across the Queen's Courts. I say far and wide, but they have not seen everything there is to be seen. But they have seen some stuff. They have seen some shit.
The only thing spread far and wide is apparently,
this can't end well. There it is.
At least one of us has spread far and wide.
It's true. Somebody here has extended their reach. But that being said, I will jump right in. We don't have a whole lot of announcements. Our Kickstarter just closed, so if you missed the Book of Eventide, you're just gonna have to wait till it goes on pre-sale, y'all. Sorry about that. But I did get Vault of Magic is out. I got my hard copy, and I've left it in the living room because I was looking at it last night. It is beautiful. 400 plus magic items. It is a beautiful and intense addition to my shelf. It makes me very happy. But yeah, since it is our finale, we're going to jump right in. I'm going to let these incredible people introduce themselves and tell us who they're playing as we wrap up this little campaign. And because I'm a chaos monster, we're not going in any order. Fox, you're first.
Well, I wasn't at all ready for that. Hi, everybody. I'm Rocket Fox. I'm here, and as you can see, a little less deered up in the face for absolutely no really stressful reason at all. But I'm here now, and that's what matters.
It's true. We are glad to see your face, dear or not dear.
That's right. And speaking of that, I'm playing Seraphim Thimbleweed this evening, who is an all-seed druid who, as always, since the beginning of time, is a half deer, half person, deer parts down below and person parts up above. And that's really I think that's really most of, also really loves rabid squirrels and giant insects. And I think that really says it all.
Yeah. You have a thing for dryads as well, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't?
No, that's gonna be Seraphim's wonderful queen.
all that wood.
Yeah, all.
That's right. Can't say no then.
Oh boy. Well, you know what? That seems like a decent segue in some way. To across the way, we'll take up. I don't know. Sevi, you're next.
Hello, I'm Persephone, aka Persephonoth. I am playing Lark Grail, the white-haired, obviously not in costume right now, Array nymph who has designs on the throne of the Shadow Fae, and if not, getting the fuck out of there. Hello.
Get the fuck out. That seems to be the reasonable answer. When you get to the plane of shadows, you just want to get GTO. Get out. I don't know. That makes it Eugenio's turn.
Hi, everybody. I'm Eugenio. I'm DM Jazzy Hins. And tonight I'm playing Ben and Kaelin Shalos, our high elf, wizard, and also, at least at the moment, cleric of Zoroastra. Well, that's not going to last.
Oops.
Can't wait. I'm excited. This is payback because I did this actually to Alex, who will be playing with us on Wednesday. He used to be his character on the podcast used to be a cleric too, and then he did something bad. So I guess we're keeping the family, I guess.
And speaking of our family, last but not least, Cord.
Hey, it's me, Cord, also known as Mythomatic. I am playing Theoden Selvier, he is a Shadowfell poetic bard, and he casts a bunch of shadow magic and a lover of all things, and is trying to build a large polyhedron of love between so many different NPCs and himself, and so far it's working.
And that always ends well.
Yeah.
It is our last game, so I feel obligated to remind everybody in chat, if you would like to bring some drama, some finale level drama to these characters' lives, you can do so by, giving to the channel. When everybody works together to fill that bar, it hits the end, something drama related happens. And, based on the conversation and intros alone, I feel like there is drama to be had. So if you want to add to the drama, help us out. And just know that every coin you give goes right back into this channel, and make sure that we get to pay this incredible cast of folk who bring their talents and their joys and their drama for all of our viewing pleasures. So, last
We
week.
want to eat.
Yes, please feed us and our cats.
Feed us.
Feed us and our cats. Please feed my cat. Yes. Let's see. Last week was the great and final meeting with the Moonlit King, the man who you were instructed was obtaining partial power over the Fae courts here in the Plane of Shadows, and Sarastra, the Queen of Night and Magic, his wife, kind of arranged coupling, has decided that she wants his power. And to get that, she put all of you in charge of removing him from his seat by removing an item from him known as the Orb of Rule. Through some daft adventures, a labyrinth or two, some courtly intrigue, a dinner that didn't go so well, a lot of squirrels, some transformation, a demon, a celestial, some eyeballs. They've made it to this point.
And love.
And love. Oh, let us not forget all the love.
Thank you.
All the love. They've made it to this point, to the point where they did, in fact, retrieve the Orb of Rule from the king. But they also retrieved another set of items that the queen was okay to accept if they could not obtain the orb, which were the buttons on his jacket, each of them a crest, his crest of the Moonlit King, which offers a kind of different power over the courts. But they collected it all. And they freed the Mad King from his bindings on this place, which means he can go wherever the hell he wants. And he has deep interest in saving his daughter, who all of you found out has been, well, some of you found out, has been sent away from here and dropped in.
Wait, was I the only one who found out?
I think you're the only one that knows. Yeah, because the Moonlit King told you that his daughter was no longer here. That after the actions that had taken place, meaning drama that had ensued by the hand of a couple of you, she was basically sent away. She was turned away. And now you're standing outside the Moonlit King's tower, and all of you have a decision to make. Because somebody has to be the Moonlit King. At least.
I thought we were past that. I thought we were at the gates to the...
So did we.
Oh, you're at the... Oh, that's right. Oh, well, yes, but you're right, because he delivered you. You're right. Our dear friend, what was his name? Revich. Revich, the blinded celestial who seems to serve here for some reason, took you all back. Sent you all back to the gates outside of the courts themselves. And after some debate, I think all of you decided that nobody should be the Moonlit King. And if it was going to be anyone, we might want to trick her son.
Right.
Because, of course...
and thank you for helping us remember.
Yeah,
The Black Prince.
that was the big drama, right? That somebody needs to hold it. None of you want to take that position because along with it comes the isolation and madness. And you thought, what better way to screw over Sarastra and her son by offering it to him?
Who is more deserving?
Right.
Oh, gods. For different reasons, they balance.
What a weird, knot we're tying here where it's like, guess what? You know what? Let's just do it and see what happens. This is exciting.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can think of no greater gift than giving the Black Prince exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
And he
Not to
may get
mention
it.
There's
My queen
Room to-
and my mom. It's gonna be fun.
definitely room there to suggest that we didn't entirely screw her over. Maybe
She
I'll be
wanted the
allowed to
power.
keep her
I
wounds.
simply assumed that she meant within the family.
Right.
I love it.
For what is her son's is hers, is it
You know,
not?
devious,
So devious. and
Excellent
cheeky.
practice for you to explain, Lark.
chaotic.
Oh,
devious.
don't worry. I have a plan to get it
I have,
to him, too.
I have no doubt, and I can't wait to see what it is.
So the last time you left this place, you were transported, you were teleported. You did not actually have to walk all the way to the labyrinth. Behind you stands a massive bridge of stars, of night. It kind of rakes across an endless gap of nothing and drops you off somewhere in the distance, and you can just vaguely see the moonlit tower. It would have been quite a trek, but your queen was so nice. She dropped you right at the labyrinth entrance. She gave you all this power. So much
She's so
power.
wonderful.
She's so nice.
so
And
bright.
now you stand back at the door that leads back into her abode, her massive kingdom that she rules. Is there anything you want to do before you go in?
Hide.
Long rest, maybe.
A long rest?
Hide.
You best prepare. We're going to play this very close to the chest.
Oh, please open character sheet, because there are definitely spells that I would
Did
like
y'all
to
give
cast at
Revich his
least
eyes
on
back?
Lark.
I did.
Yes.
You did. Okay, I would
Yeah.
say after he drops you, right outside, he will say, "This is as far as I can take you. Now that I can see, she will not want me anymore."
Oh, well, that's useful. I mean,
That
terrible.
sounds like a blessing. Anyway,
He says, "Here," and hands you something, Lark, a small trinket almost is kind of what it looks like something one might make into a tacky piece of jewelry or a brooch. Doesn't look very valuable. And he says, "I have put a scrying spell on this. It only has a single use, but I will be around the plane of shadows if you ever need me."
you are too kind, Revich.
He says, "No, you. My eyes have been gone far too long.
You.
Agreed.
Thank you."
Enjoy your sight.
And his
Or
wings
pocket it.
take him off into the air, and he flaps away. There's no dust as you stand in kind of a black void of nothing, but he takes up and over the castle, off farther into the plane of shadows.
Quick question. Have we had a short or long rest in this time?
I would say you could probably have taken a short rest. You did a lot of talking and sitting with the Moonlit King and trying to figure that situation out, so if y'all want to roll for some short rest, for sure. Don't forget, if you're down on HP, y'all have, like, 2 major health potions.
Yeah.
Made
And
yeah.
the health
spells I'm
wand.
concerned about.
And is
And-
that a hint?
Yeah, spells will be the tough one, but
I get a few slots back from a
yeah.
D6 plus 3. Oh, did I not roll all my hit dice?
I was looking for
I rarely roll my hit dice. This is exciting and weird.
I'm just gonna.
Before we-
roll. I'm gonna. I did it wrong. I'm gonna roll them again if that's okay. Let's see. There we go.
Also, while we're doing this, I'll go ahead and take the moment to say that before we go in, I can give 2 of us a bit of magical status within the court, and also a D4 on persuasion checks for the next 24 hours.
Seems like
I
a
don't
smart
need it,
move.
I
I
know
have
you
20
don't.
status. I'm fine. But
I
thank
have
you.
no idea what status I have at this point.
Actually, we can scroll back over to our status tracker and take a peek at that.
Where
Because
is
you also may
that?
have added new status marks just based on some
no.
of the actions you've taken. Or
Not for
lack
long.
thereof.
Not for long.
Yeah, that's gonna be me.
Let's
Do I
see.
really only have 2?
I have 20
No.
on my character sheet.
You have a +2 to what you already have.
I don't
There's
think I have.
+8, and I think you all started at 8, so you may be at, like, I feel like y'all are near 11 or 12. But I'm about to...
We got some when we talked to her too, right?
Yes, you did. Let's see. I'm going
Oh,
to...
I have at least 9 at the beginning. I have that
I
written
think she's
down.
got it. You've got it, don't you?
Yeah, so that would be right. These are just the additions to wherever you started, which will vary for person. Like, you had a higher status just because you were of the courts themselves, like, right?
Was Theoden really the only one who got more status?
No.
I could have sworn we got
had
status
others.
with the trial.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so there are a couple things you're about to get. How do I
I
show
seduced the shit out
this?
of the succubus. That was one.
Yes, so you got the wooed status, but you all defeated the Roach King, which also happened after, so you're going to gain 7 just for defeating him.
Okay.
Each of you. The whole party
Okay.
does. I'm about to hand you that token. Oops, not what I wanted. And let's see, what else do you have? Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. I think the only person who gets this is Seraphim, actually. Because you accidentally saved a courtesan. It was accidental.
Oh.
But because you summoned that demon, which inevitably brought the tricky celestial in, that little cherub, little cutie, you saved that courtier because she healed her. That's a kind of ass backwards thing, but so be it.
And
Did we get
everyone
anything
knows.
from the
Part
trial?
of the plan.
So funny.
Let's see.
everyone
You
knows
got from the trial. Yes. Let's see. Well, you didn't defeat his minions. Plus, join the Grey Ladies. Nobody did that. Defeated Nope.
The what?
You haven't done that.
Pardon?
Okay. All right. So, why can't I show these things? I don't understand. Pan view? No. Well, take 7. So, all you take 7. You take 1. You each got 2 from the trial. So, you can add 2 for the trial. Everybody that was involved in that. And how mean do I want to be?
Do it.
I mean, it's the end, right?
Yeah.
One of these tokens
take
says
it.
the queen's favorite. It gives you plus 9 status to each.
Can't imagine who that would be.
I can't either.
What have I been saying?
9
Buddy.
status for the queen's favorite. The question is, who is the queen's favorite, and are they still the queen's
Theoden.
favorite?
Theoden.
I mean, I can only confidently say who it isn't.
It's definitely not me.
Right.
You did not catch the Firebird. You did not defeat the Death Butterflies. Okay.
Oh, wait, one thing before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we still have
let's go to
something
those.
from that fucker, the Black Prince's underling.
Oh.
I think we have his
that-
eye.
You have
Trash
End Eye,
monster.
maybe, or something like that. That's right.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that's
I think I have the eye of that dude.
Yeah.
There were a lot of eyes involved in this
There were a
campaign.
lot of them.
There were a lot of lost eyeballs. None of that. So I'm gonna sit on this queen's favorite, and we're gonna see if anybody actually takes it in the end, because it would
Hilarious.
basically make you the highest status of the crew.
I think you already are. I think Theoden already is at this point.
I was gonna hand it. You definitely
do
wooed the
have-
Sapphire Courtesan, but you kind of almost also killed her.
I do have 20 status
You
on me.
kind of also.
Yeah, I'm
almost
at 18.
killed her. Does she mind?
Does she care? We don't.
So what was the addition for
The Roach King
accidentally
was
saving
7.
the courtesan?
Oh,
A +3.
3.
nice.
Yeah, you got a little boost. Our little nimble little friend.
Didn't I get? Correct me if I'm wrong, but did I get 1 point from dealing with that fuckboy that wants to fuck me?
Which one is that? Wait, the one you mean inside of that was in Zobeck, right?
It was in
y'all
the
came over.
banquet.
Oh, wait, that was
Oh yeah, there was that bard and there was this new other guy.
okay,
other
yeah,
guy.
yeah, there was the bard. Oh, there's a lot of fuckboys. In
Not the
court.
bard, the
fuckboys
one
in
that
Shadowfell.
basically set me up.
Did you that's her son, right?
No, there's another one.
His who was it? His guard or something?
Oh, that's right. It was his
I
right
love
hand. He was the guy that runs the kennel.
So there was the bastard that was his right hand man at the trial, and then
Right.
there was someone at the banquet who was the person who helped set me
head
up.
of his hunting party, his hunting crew. Yes, you're right. Did you make a skill check against him?
I did.
Yeah,
I
so
won.
you get a +1 anytime that you made that successful skill check against a major NPC. So in that case, I would count that one as an additional +1.
So do I get 2? Because I definitely made more than 1 against him.
Sure.
We were supposed to meet up. Okay.
Why
Cool.
not? Did you meet up? That's the question.
We didn't have time.
That's true. She
Oh,
sent
what a
y'all
shame.
away.
I'm so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you can tally it up in case it comes up your status as you come through. All of you have gained a lot more status since you left, simply by taking on her request. Who has the orb and what have you done with it? Okay.
I have it.
Okay, great. And I'm guessing it's like well hidden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So Lark, then, if you are willing, Venom will cast Guest of Honor on both of us using my
Smart.
ritual focuses. So the duration of the spell will be 24 hours without concentration.
Okay, I'm gonna do a thing too. Which sorcery things did I say? Sorcery, quicken spells, subtle. Damn it, I didn't take extended. But I'm going to cast on both of us Fey Glamour. My last 2 level 1 spell slots from Sorcerer.
Okay, perfect.
So we get advantage on all charisma checks for the next 10 minutes.
Nice.
I have a feeling that it will
Nice.
be necessary.
Nice. Between the advantage and the +4 on persuasion, plus D4 on persuasion, hopefully we
Yeah,
will
y'all
survive.
be very persuasive.
Well, we're gonna need to be.
As long as you're telling the truth. If you're not, then you have to roll deception.
Yeah, at least we get advantage, just not
get
the
it at least an
Deception's
advantage.
still a charisma.
So,
Right,
oh
we'll
yeah,
still
that's
get
true.
the
You just don't get
advantage.
the D4 on the okay.
So weirdly, like I'm very good at all of these charisma.
So what does
stuff.
Gust of Honor gives us? Status and
Gives you +2 status and a D4 on persuasion.
It's
check
like a
for
temporary
24
status.
hours. Mm-hmm.
okay.
Cool.
Cool. That makes me 22.
Okay. The doors in front of you are massive. They totally match her aesthetic. They're like wooden and beautiful. But there is no guards or anybody attending this entrance. Seems that maybe this is a bit private.
Well, if we were dropped here, this was where she intends us to come through. However, that doesn't mean that it's not a trick or something we're not supposed to see through.
Well, and quite frankly, wouldn't it be easier to explain why she doesn't have the Orb of Rule once she has no choice in the matter? Should we visit her son first?
I think so.
I think I can find him for us.
Well, you've met him a few times, and I think you would all know a little bit about him. He obviously has private quarters if you want to risk that. But you know that he runs the local hunt, right? So he has like a group, a following, and they do a lot of hunting. And you did go down to the stables and where they keep the hunting dogs, which is actually where I think you first met his skeezy friend that followed into that was there at the party after, the one that was like hitting on Lark. So, those would be some simple places, maybe.
I think there's a simpler way to go about it.
Do tell.
He is, of course, of his mother's kind. Why don't we simply ask him to appear?
Oh, interesting. You think he inherited some of her...
I know he did. Lark is going to kneel on the ground
Okay.
and going to do an impromptu ritual. It's going to cut her palm with the Queen's dagger, let it drip on the ground, and say, "Black Prince, I beseech you for your time and your audience. For there's something that I have which you seek."
Okay. Does he get a check, or do you have to make any kind of additional check?
This is all impromptu.
All impromptu. So
So
you begin a
whatever you say.
ritual. You reach out to him. I'm gonna say he might have inherited some of his mother's. Okay. There's a period of time. No ritual is fast. As you watch, you spill your blood with his mother's gifted dagger. And there is almost dead silence in the void for a few minutes. And then you hear this massive wooden door creak as it opens inward. And standing on the other side is your skeezy friend. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I do remember he has kind of like beautiful blonde hair. Is definitely a shadow fae. Cutting
Even.
icy eyes. Yeah. Kind of sharp pointed figures, but
When
still
you say
has
his friend, do
Yeah.
you mean the competent one or the kennel asshole?
the confident one.
Okay.
I
Perfect.
think this is this him, Caleb? I can't remember. Anyways, he
Caleb. I think it was Caleb.
Was it Caleb? He stands there smiling. God, this looks like him. If it's not, it is now. I'll show y'all his. This is him. He is just a mood and a
Look at
half.
that.
He's
wow.
a whole mood.
That guy.
Such a mood. Just like that, his dueling sword is over his shoulder, and he creaks the door open. He smiles at you with that very charismatic look, and he says, "I was sent to escort you."
Oh, well, perfect, darling. You know, I do love an escort befitting of my status.
He kind of sighs a little bit, and he says, "You know, if ever you were to call me, or at least call on me the way you call on him, I wouldn't send my lackey to greet you." And he puts his hand out to grab yours.
And this, my dear, is why you're not him.
He says nothing to this. He just kind of nods and welcomes you all in.
Is he missing an eye?
This is not the one missing an eye.
Okay.
No, this is not him. You're talking about that guy. I do have his name. The Baron. Baron Suvid.
The Baron.
Oh, that's who I thought. That's where I was.
Yeah, I know. This is his kind of. This is actually the top court duelist. This gentleman, he
this
just
guy.
he rides with the Black Prince for hunting purposes. He's like part
You
of
know,
his
I
little
met
entourage.
your predecessor recently.
Oh,
I did.
I know of no such man. He is long gone from this place.
That may not be the truth that you believe it to be.
He says,
Well,
"Well,
after all, he could come back and reclaim it now that he has the ability to see again.
you gave him his eyes."
I gave him nothing. He found them on his own.
"Well, then he can come rightfully duel me for his position back. But I doubt after all this time wandering around Labyrinth, he's going to
I
have
do
the-
have a question, though. You weren't the one to defeat him. The Black Prince was. Does that truly mean that you're not the greatest duelist to grace the kingdom?
I would not attempt to seat myself anywhere near the Black Prince. Isn't that the point you just made?"
No, the point that I'm making is that what if your predecessor was better than you? You never faced him in battle. So perhaps you're just second best.
Perhaps.
If that's the case, I do see the insult in having been sent to pick me and my companions up.
I was sent
Such a
so that
pity.
nobody else would come across you. But I can simply
Are
let
you
you...
certain of that?
Yes. I can simply allow you to escort yourself. But do not mistake me, Lark. I am absolutely happy with my position in the courts. I don't need to defeat the Black Prince as long as I ride alongside
I don't think you
him.
should defeat the Black Prince at all. I simply mean to say that, well, you can't be the best unless you faced the best.
I don't need to be the best as long as I wear the title. Come,
Let's see how
this
long
way.
that's kept for.
And he
Seraphim
kind of
is
gestures
gonna
grandly.
Seraphim is gonna lean over because I imagine we mentioned in chat a little bit. I imagine the other three of us are all like standing behind Lark, literally making the faces we were making this entire time.
Yeah.
And so Seraphim's gonna lean over to the two of them, just be like, "Oh, so he's a coward."
What I got? What's that sword? Is it a
Hardly
rapier or is it a
polished.
long sword? What even is that thing?
Well, if you carry a long sword, then you just scare people away. You don't have to actually use it.
That sun on the breastplate leaning a little hard on the celestial thing, don't you think?
Yes, I think so too. It's also clashing very much with his girdle.
Well, and look
when you have it, you
around,
don't really have to
read
show
the-
it off. You know.
You're
Well, and
such
read
trolls.
the room, a sun, please.
Can we roll to see if we're getting to him?
Yeah, so we can roll it. Yeah, you can definitely roll an insight. You could totally roll an insight.
Do we want to roll insight or do we want to roll persuasion?
Hilarious. Oh, you
I
can just
I would
roll
actually
it.
say this would be an intimidation roll because y'all are trying to intimidate him and
take that.
incite him.
Should I roll or should someone else roll?
You
I
can all
should've-
roll. You're all in this
Okay, let's all
conversation
roll.
and see
Alright,
who gets
great.
under his skin.
Hey, 21
Okay,
for,
he's gonna
me
roll
because I have advantage.
Oh wait, that's right. Oh, we got to, but this rolls advantage automatically. So I...
Yeah, so take the higher. Okay, 2 21s and a 14
And a 10.
and a 10. No, of another 14 because we take the highest. I'm going
Oh.
to. Okay, he rolled a 12 on his Constitution check
honey.
against y'all. I am going to have. You know what? Let's What does he have advantage on? Dex.
Oh, do we get
Con.
an extra D4? Oh no, it's only in persuasions.
Yeah, only in the persuasions. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, he is gonna try to deceive y'all. You have to beat a 17 if you want to
Ooh.
tell if you're getting to him.
Insight.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, a nat 20. It is your comment.
Oh my god, Fox
Oh
got the
my
same thing but
God.
didn't get a nat 20.
Okay, this kind of makes sense. The lowest status person in the party. Oh,
Perfect.
it is not, of course, Lark's comment. He's used to the kind of
okay.
comments Lark's toss out. He's used to people in frilly neck pieces insulting him. He's not used to non-Shadow Fae and definitely not creatures of Seraphim status commenting on him. And he holds it together until Seraphim says just the wrong thing, and you watch as his left eye twitches ever so slightly, as if he might break, and his hand grips tightly around the dueling foil at his side.
Oh, Seraphim, I think you might have gotten to him.
Well, it's not about getting to him. It's about just saying the truth. I'm just saying what I see.
Well, that's fair enough. And if if he sees himself in some of the negative things that you're commenting about, well, that seems to be on him.
Well, I don't know how he could not see himself. Do you see how shiny his this is?
I do.
He stops. He quickly turns, and you hear his really shiny boots squeak across the marble floor, and he stops in kind of this attention stance, and he says, the last few people who said what they saw were left without their eyes.
Well, no, we saw them get them back.
Yeah, I mean that can't happen anymore because he's not
we
not
took
around
care of
He
anymore.
goes, oh,
Gone.
what a quaint idea. Come, we're almost there. Now, all of you
Quaint is what I think of your title.
are not going to get to make a perception check, but what is everybody's passive?
Yeah.
20.
Oh, you immediately notice
Nine.
the halls are very barren.
Ooh.
They're where are the
Perception,
people?
12.
12, yeah. So I would say anything over, a 10, really. Passively speaking, is where are, these halls were bustling with people, especially since you've earned the status to be able to see everyone, from the servant goblins all the way up the tier of, high-profile folk in this place. Her halls seem to be empty, or at least there's nobody in them. You don't hear music or parties, people toasting or gossiping. All of that seems to have dwindled away. And he leads you to, oh, yes.
Papa, I'm just gonna let everyone know that I don't hear any hustle, any bustle, any partying, no nothing.
Very empty, which is concerning.
Like it.
You don't think they're planning something, do you?
Oh, all
They're
of a sudden,
always
they're
collectively.
always planning something.
He stops, again, turns around on these squeaky heels, and gestures
my-
to a door.
Oh, thank goodness.
This would be what most people would consider the gathering room for the hunting troop.
Oh.
And he stops and unlocks the door because it requires a special key. And he says, "The Black Prince is waiting on you. Everyone else, they're waiting in the banquet hall to celebrate your return."
Fuck.
Excuse me. When you say celebrate, do you mean celebrate or celebrate?
He smiles and he says, "Well, I guess that depends on whether or not you bring good news."
Okay.
Aha!
I look
You're
forward to seeing
dismissed.
you in the banquet hall. And he turns and kind of walks away.
I bet you do.
And the door it stands kind of just cracked open, like the lock is not holding it in place anymore, and you can see warm firelight from the inside.
Stay calm. Don't let him get under your skin. We may have to think on our toes a little. Let's go.
I see. You know who you're speaking to?
I will.
I live on my toes. Looks
Theoden.
down at his heels.
That's why you've got such incredible calves.
Thank you.
And posture. Let's go.
Thank you.
Do you enter first, Lark?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
As you crack the door, it pushes inwards, and you kind of get the full breadth of this room. This is a very private space, though right now it stands relatively empty. You can see a table in the middle, and very lush, like leather chairs, probably made of all the many things that they have hunted across the Plane of Shadows and in Midgard, because you know they were crossing over. Bearskin rugs, you know, those kinds of things, mounts all along the wall, and a very large hearth, a fireplace.
The
It's
equivalent of a fish on Tinder.
precisely. The fire is burning in this massive hearth, and in front of it, he does not face you. He stares into these deep flames. Behind him are his hands, and it is, of course, the statue of Hander, the Black Prince. His kind of horns curl largely behind him. He wears his usual regalia of black, purple, gold, and he stands there, not dressed for the hunt, but very clearly dressed for a celebration.
My lord. I bow.
I will as well, and sort of, if the other two aren't, sort of nudge them.
It's not like the fullest, deepest. Like it's like an acknowledgement of status, but not completely.
But not completely, yeah.
Seraphim will manage to.
Oh, hold on.
I don't know that he cares so much about your bowing, because he doesn't even turn around to notice it. But the
fair
cordiality never goes unnoticed by somebody. He does slowly begin to speak to you, and he simply starts with, "Lark, I am glad that you have found your way out of my father's maze. You belong here, not there."
Interesting you should feel that way. Considering.
Now he turns. "How do you feel?" "Oh," and then he notices that the other three of you are there because you haven't spoken.
Hello,
You all
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
We're here too.
When have my feelings ever been an overly large concern of yours, my dear?
Your feelings have always mattered to me. I often lack the words to be able to express it, but I imagine after all this time you figured that out. But it wasn't me who called upon you this time.
No, however, it would be rude of us, simply uncouth, to present ourselves before the Queen as if we know her or confidants.
My mother made it clear she already spoke with you. Gave
Yes,
you
but
quite
there
a
is
lot.
proper protocol, and we must observe it. Just because she had an audience with us does not mean we are allowed a second one, regardless of what was told to us, and we were not given instructions on how to return, so I thought it appropriate to call upon you instead.
And how is my father?
Well, certainly seems more sane these days.
But significantly less powerful. It was...
Lark walks over
Shade.
to the Black Prince. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, as Lark is walking, just for some flavor of animals, it was a shame to see him so weakened after we took the orb from him.
Yes.
Took it, you say?
My dear Prince, you know my feelings for you have never changed. But you know that I can never tell yours. However, and at his feet she goes into a deep curtsy.
Are you lying about your feelings for him?
Oh, fuck yes.
Roll a deception.
Yeah. You do get your advantage.
Yes,
It's
take
not
your
my
advantage.
D4.
Come on, please.
Oh, a nat 20. Okay.
Yes!
These are the words he has wanted to hear for a very, very long time. He actually puts his hand out to yours to lift you from the curtsy if you will take it.
I do.
And almost a smile crosses his very, very pointed face. And he says, I have waited a long time to hear those words. You're right, I do not express myself very well. But I can tell you this. Since all of yours mysterious departure, my mother has been rather tight-lipped about what she is up to. I thought she sent you away to rot like the rest of them inside of the labyrinth, but I see that is not the case.
No, of course not. And as you are, and always have been, of her blood, and as we are before you, it is my duty and solemn pleasure to bestow upon you that which we obtained in her name, so that you may convey it to her.
You would defile my mother's requests.
Defile? Is this not proper protocol?
I actually laugh out loud at that when he says that.
And you're more than just part of these courts. You're a proper follower. You believe in her.
It's difficult not to, Your Grace. And yet, I am here, just as the rest of them are, offering you a chance to hold the orb, to present it as Lark has offered you.
Yes, and of course, neither of us would go against Sarastra, but we didn't simply not have the status to bring it before her ourselves. We are nothing before her.
She believes heavily in all of you. She spent the last few weeks in your absence plotting and planning a party for your arrival.
Well, I certainly don't claim to know your mother on a personal level, but plotting is quite the verb for a party.
Well, considering the
other
fact that none of
thoughts?
us knew what it was about until really now, I would say plotting is the correct term. I am not pleased with her decision to send my sister away.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Yes, I was informed of that as well. It's a pity.
He looks at Theoden. Is this the first time you've heard?
Just now?
My sister, she became overcome with emotion. She attacked the head courtesan.
Ooh.
That I did not hear.
Sarah just start and just like elbows Theoden really hard.
My mother, as she is wont to do, locked her in the tower, and by some sheer happenstance, both my sister and the courtesan were healed and set free. It's a strange thing. Anything that happens in this place, my mother usually knows immediately about.
Usually. Yes.
It
Usually.
seems that more recently she has lost her touch, if I do say so.
Well, perhaps her attention has just been elsewhere.
Perhaps. Either way, she banished my sister from this place, sent her to the writhing city of Zobeck to die with the rest of everyone else.
Thankfully, I believe your father is on his way there to help her.
My father lives.
And what of
Did
the
you believe
courtesan?
that we killed him?
You did say you took the orb. I guess I
course.
rightfully assumed that he would not depart with it on such terms.
Your father was king for a long time, and not all of us are Sarastra. And often people wish to retire.
As for the courtesan, she was miraculously healed from a wound we did not think she'd recover.
Interesting.
And the absence of my sister has been of great joy to her.
You miss your sister.
I believe that she is not as guilty as my mother has made her out to be.
I'm surprised that your mother would send away someone of her own blood for the sake of a courtesan. But she is talented, I must say.
I don't think it was for the courtesan. I want to see it.
Very
I'm
well.
sorry?
Lark reaches into
The
her
orb.
corset and
yes.
produces the orb.
I want to see it. And he kind of lays eyes on it, and you can see a lust writhe across his face. And you would let me present this.
Of course. It is proper protocol. Are we not all in agreement with that?
Oh,
Ooh,
absolutely.
totally.
It seems
in
right.
agreement.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
And not only that, but as I understand from my studies, there are preparations and to be made, protocols to be followed. An hour at least it should take for you to prepare before you bring it to the banquet.
Take it in.
Right? Correct?
And you, what do all of you require?
You
This
know
is
that
no
I would do
light
this for you,
exchange.
my darling. But if there is something that weighs heavily on me, it is my parents.
I had nothing to do with your parents.
I know. And I'm not asking you to do anything about it, but if I knew where they were, I would find them.
It is my understanding they were forced to... Your parents were forced to sail the River Styx to a goblin city in the north.
At that, Lark's carefully constructed mask of devotion just sort of cracks and she's shaken.
He reaches for you if you allow him. He kind of gives you that a hand on your lower back support kind of a thing, as if you were to faint, he would catch you. And he says, "Do not fear. It is my understanding they made it safely. Once they made it to the city, I do not know. But I can tell you, I can offer you all something in return for such a kind gesture. I am not
That is?
ignorant to the fact that I will take up his mantle.
I have
And
no
then
idea what
this
you're
po-
speaking of.
And Vannon at this point does not say that, but turns around and walks to one corner of the room, humming rather louder than necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I am assured he was bound to it in some way. I don't understand all the details. But if I were to gain such power, Lark, I could offer you a rightful place in these courts. By my side.
Of course. You know, nothing would please me more.
I could send for your parents, have them returned.
Of course. But you know, my heart has always been an open book to you.
Not always. That I do know.
You do yourself an injustice. I'm a very easy read when it comes to my emotions.
Kind as you are beautiful. And what about the three of you? I cannot take such an offer without giving something in return.
Well,
What
Very
can you
kind of you to
do?
think about that.
He says, I am the Black Prince, soon to be the new king of the Fey Courts. There are a lot of things I can do. Try not to-
Ah,
Well,
I see.
I for one, I don't really ask a lot most times, but I'd be curious if maybe this is just something you'd know because you've been out hunting a bit, and that's, I'm not really a huge fan of that, but I'm not here to judge in your own bedroom or whatever this place is. But I don't know what you're doing here. Either way, I I would love to find more of my own people if this that'd be something I'd be interested in.
The All-Seed.
I guess.
I know nothing of your people, but if there are more of them, there will not be here.
You're not really helpful to me then, are you?
I guess not. This is all you desire.
Yes.
Your Grace, it seems to me that for such a small token as to be the one to present the orb to your mother, perhaps something as simple as a promise of protection for the remainder of our stay, because your great and wise mother has been known, it is simple fact, to dispose of tools once she has used them. If later, based on events happening as they may, you feel that you are further indebted to us for what great reason I couldn't possibly imagine, but if you were to feel that way, then perhaps at such time, once things have happened and plans cannot be plucked from our minds, we could discuss further compensation, further remuneration for the kindness we have done.
Oh, I did think of something else.
Wonderful word.
Perfect transition.
I do agree with that. But what was it, Seraphim?
So your princeness, when you become the king and all, when we were going through the maze, there was this really striking, she was really something else. There was this dryad there, and she couldn't leave because she had to be there. And, I think it would be really something, and I don't just ask for my own, but I feel there was a real connection. And,
did you meet someone when I was gone, Seraphim?
Oh, did we ever?
She stripped the flesh right off everyone's bones. Well, not ours, obviously, but
I will.
When you said that, he knows exactly what you're talking. He goes, right, right. The dryad. Yes, I guess I could free her.
It's really a selfless ask, in my personal opinion. I just, but I really do. I feel like there was really something going on. I would like to have more conversation. I feel like it's something really important.
Well, I can't set up a proper date for you, but I can free her from her bonds to such a place.
Yeah, I think that's a good start. I don't
Speaking
know
of
that
connections, and also and on the same sort of vein of Seraphim here, there was one at the court that I was always had the eye caught upon, and I was hoping if there was a way that you could potentially, maybe, I'm not sure, weave the potential tapestry of a night or an evening or a date with this person.
Well, who is it?
Queen.
I'm sorry. Maybe the fire was crackling too loud. Did you say the queen?
Seraphim audibly hand palms.
Yeah, same.
Just for
Nothing surprises Lark anymore.
let me just make sure I understand. You would like me to weave a date with my mother?
For me, not for you, that would be appalling.
Pigeon, you're making this awkward.
This is turning into Oedipus quickly.
It's for me. This is for me. I would like to go on this date, not you.
Oh,
You do understand, my mother does not date.
Yet.
Whoa.
I will see what I can do.
Wonderful. Very well. Sorry, as you're a Seraphim.
I don't
I
have
think
anything
that we
to
should
add.
revisit the protection part. It is such a small gesture.
Kids, no worries if you
Thank you.
are true
Thanks.
in this. And if you'll allow him, he will take the orb from you, and he holds it in his hands.
Yeah.
He stares deep into it, and he says, if this is really what you say it is,
It is.
and things go as planned, then yes, I think I will assure you are very well protected. In fact, I don't think, if that's the case, that any of you will have a reason to leave the courts moving forward. I would ask you to stay here as my guests.
What?
My guests. That way I can assure your protection, your loyalty. I'll return Locke's family and maybe try to set up a date with my mother. You and the Dryad can have the courtyard at your fitting, and the dear follower, Vannin, of my mother can continue, assuring that he maintains the power that she has given him.
Good, yes, right, yes, huh?
And more importantly, mine and Lark's future bound.
Of course.
Good. You should change. You all look very haggard. There is fresh clothing. A couple doors down. A closet. Help yourself to what you find. You are all going to be very, very honored tonight. I will see you within the hour.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
my prince. Or should I say, no, I will keep with my prince for now.
Yeah. And he says, my lady, and he kind of grabs your hand and plants a very purposeful kiss on the back of your knuckles. And he says, I must think now. This is a grand gesture to offer to my mother. I do not want to mess it up.
I'll say.
We'll give you
Very
some
lucky
privacy.
woman.
She's still my mother. As he whispers and
Gross, Theoden.
turns and continues to contemplate this item as he stares deep into it. And of course the door is open for you all to take your leave.
As soon as we are out of
Anything
earshot.
until we're in the room.
Sorry.
Don't do it.
So, yeah, you close the door. When you finally click it closed, you
Dome
hear
of
it,
silence.
Lock. Yeah, it relocks for you. You know, there are some doors on either side. If you search, some of them are locked, but you very quickly find this clothing closet. It's big enough for all of you to fit in. It's like a massive walk-in, and definitely a quiet place. The halls still are empty.
He has not extracted a promise nor a bargain from us. We are not bound yet.
Right?
I don't feel
We are-
comfortable about this party. I don't feel comfortable about it.
No,
I
nor
think
I.
we'll be okay at the party. It's the aftermath I'm worried about.
We have to remember though that he will be changed once he
He will
connects
be.
to that orb. Between that and the promise of future boons based on the size of our gift, which is quite large.
He made a promise. That he must keep, regardless of the madness.
Oh,
But we are not yet bound, and he did not extract those our promises in return. So we still have some wiggle room.
Also, I want to make it very clear, Sarastra will kill me when she finds out we've given him the orb and he's attuned to it.
You
That
won't be able
seems
to
like
be
a big
killed.
concern.
I
Oh,
will be distracting her. Duh, that's what I'm doing.
Also, we only follow protocol. Whatever he does at this point is his choice.
What do we think about the robe? Too much?
I
think it's
never be
alright.
too much.
Wonderful. I didn't know if
but
that
do you
was-
know if that's her color? Do you know if she likes that color?
I don't really know if she sees color, being the woman of shadow.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
There are quite a lot of people who say that, and they see this color perfectly fine. Anyway. I'm sure your charms will do more than the robe itself will do, Theoden.
You?
But in the meantime, keep your wits around you.
Of course.
We're not out of the woods yet. But as far
Not
as
as a
your
queen.
survival, Vannin, I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I think you're right. He guaranteed my safety. They can duke it out.
He did, and also, as we said before, we are underlings. We cannot simply appear before the queen and present the orb of such magnitude. We're not worthy.
Of course not.
And we were not given
Dream of it.
instructions on how to do so anyway. So
really, it's the queen's fault. I mean, she should have been clear.
Seraphim, maybe you shouldn't talk when it comes to this.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some logic to that, I guess.
Also, Seraphim, I had no idea that you didn't have anyone.
Me neither.
Why? Have you ever seen another one of these? What do you call those things?
I'll see.
Alcides?
Yeah, have you ever seen another one?
Yes, we have.
Definitely. Oh no, for
When?
sure. Yeah, no, absolutely.
In Midgard.
You're all over the. Have you ever been to the Margrave? It's
No.
lousy.
I mean, your
without seeing-
homelands are very well protected in secret, but I've seen Alcide traders. Basically anywhere there's a forest.
Well, that's just rude. No one even came looking for me. That's well, we're gonna have.
They may not know what.
We have a lot to
You
talk
aren't.
about.
You don't
Seraphim.
have your horns, do you? There's
a
a
lot to
reason
talk about.
behind that, isn't there?
Eh,
Darling, what have you been through?
well, I don't really remember.
Do you not feel pressed to tell us, but is there something we can do for you? We've been
Well-
friends for quite some time now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd want to have some horns, before I meet the folk. I mean, that'd be a little embarrassing, I suppose. No, back when I was less of you know how we're from the free city. Well, that wasn't always the case for me. Back when I was less free, they thought the horns were a little bit dangerous. Because you can poke
Who's
somebody.
they thought that they were dangerous?
What's that?
Who's they? Who was the ones who thought that was dangerous?
We just want to talk.
Well, there's I don't really remember who they were, but they
Names, titles.
Locations.
it was just one of the other cities. I mean, it was across the water. I didn't really ask a lot of questions in those days.
Don't worry, we'll take you around and see what jogs your memory. But first, we need to get through this. But no, please keep in mind that we'll be looking.
For well-traveled folk of Midgard, Seraphim could mean the Southlands, which
Sure.
is well known for pirating and moving of rare objects and possibly creatures. Could also potentially mean the Northlands also has a lot of pirating, but their ways are a little different. They don't trade creatures as much as they trade in things to keep them warm: coal, iron, fire, the necessities, food.
Southlands, then.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean that's likely what it was. But I just kind of when I at a certain point you have to plan really good. You have to plan really far ahead, and when you're getting away from something like that, but you escape in certain ways, and you have to pay off certain people, but you have to just do a few things. here
Baden,
and
you're
there.
taking notes, right?
Yes, I am.
We'll have a list at some point.
He's absolutely doing his nails.
Absolutely.
Baden,
Yes.
care about something other than your appearance for a moment.
We are in the courts, milady. This is the best place for me and the only place for me. to
And our
actually
friend is
care.
describing her stint as a.
You're
Show
right,
some
I'm so sorry.
compassion, Theoden.
Where's my notebook?
Yeah, anyway, it's not so. And I mean, I mostly spent time after that. I landed in the Free City, and I mostly spent time there because, if I
Let's
went
get
anywhere
through this,
else-
Seraphim. And then we'll have to find your people. And some other people will have to answer some questions.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. And she, while she's talking about this, she does keep kind of feeling up on her
On
head.
our horns, yeah.
We can also see what we can do
Don't you
about
have
that.
bedazzled horns right now?
I think at some point they probably came off while they were doing the
Aw.
labyrinth.
We'll need a greater restoration at some point.
That'll do it.
We'll figure it out.
Maybe a higher level druid could solve that. I don't know. Maybe these swanky bears. Bearfolk.
Maybe a dryad.
Oh, right.
Yeah, dryad.
Maybe a dryad.
Hey,
Ooh.
Seraphim would take some horns made out of wood. I'll tell you
There
what.
you go. So I imagine while this
Find out.
conversation's going on and Seraphim's kind of revealing some of the secrets behind the origin long before you were all a party and traveled to this dark place, you've suited up if you wanted to suit up. There's
Absolutely.
just about
Yeah.
anything
Decked
you
out
could
to the
want.
nines.
Oh,
Yeah.
Silver, gold, silk.
Amulets.
I imagine that it is quite a you are all quite a sight to behold, considering the fact you just walked out of probably the most dangerous place in the Fey Courts. And eventually you, from inside the closet, hear kind of this swell of music. It's been about 35 or 40 minutes, as if a party is beginning, something is starting. And there's not still bustle about the hall, but if you were to follow the music, you could easily find your way to what you imagine is like a main ballroom or courtly hold for the Queen's courts.
Everyone remember, it's just a performance. Everything here is.
Performance, yes, it is. Lips, teeth, tip of the tongue.
It's all in how you sell it.
Stood upon the balcony, mimicking his hiccuping and amicably welcoming him in. She stood upon the balcony, mimicking his hiccuping.
Ed, you're going to be all right.
It's a performance, yes.
Yeah,
Let's get some
notes.
working.
Mum.
Do you all follow
Mamma mia, me with
the
my
music
M&Ms, yeah.
to the ball?
So,
Well, the first thing you notice are the two hallways that like lead to it. It's like at the end of a corridor and comes from either way. You're coming from a single direction, but you can see outside along this corridor on the left and right are lined up the servants of the court. They are not allowed into this party, but they are all lined up. And the moment one of them sees you, you hear one of the goblins whisper something, and that goblin whispers something, and it kind of begins filtering down the line. And as you all pass, they bow to you. Seraphim, I don't think you were high enough status last time to fully see all of the goblin and the willing servants of the queen, but they are lining this hallway. Small creatures of all kinds, but mostly goblins. And they line all the way up to the door, and the head goblin like bustles behind all of you and cuts through to open the main door for you at your cue.
Seraphim, look out, you're about to step on a goblin.
They're all over the place.
Yes, yes.
I didn't realize there were this many
You
of them.
can step on me.
goodness.
Seraphim, don't acknowledge them.
Oh yeah, and I'm sorry. She's with one of her front hooves. She's just gonna kind of scoot him aside.
Aw.
Maybe later.
And he doesn't even move. He head down, right? He stands to the side as you kind of push his little body. He slides to the side. You hear a few of the other goblins like, "Oh my god, she spoke to him," as they seem to whisper a lot about your presence.
I love them.
And the head goblin does not make eye contact, but he does wear like a much more boisterous. He has like shoulder pads and some other things, and he says, "Shall I announce you?"
Why are you asking? Did we say you could address us? Go.
I don't know your titles. He looks to somebody else
You
knowing.
should.
Okay. He squeezes into the door and closes it behind him. As he enters and the door kind of clicks, you hear the volume swell and then stop, like drop out. And a tiny voice from the other side of the door says, "Presenting the Queen's Company of Celestia, the Queen of Dynamite. I present Lady Luck, Diana Numbers, Seraphim, the Queen's Elsie, right? Vannon, servant of the Queen." And you hear like a roar from inside as people are like, "Whoa!" They're like clapping, right? And the door creaks open, and this little goblin, like, kind of cowering, pushes the door past all of you to reveal the four of you at the top of a flight of gold stairs that are about 5 or 6 high that lead down into a massive ballroom.
So as we're passing by, I do that thing that Lady Dummy Tress does in the village whenever one of her underlings comes across and just slap him to the side without even doing a second glance.
He goes, thank you.
Just
Thank you.
People continue to cheer for you. If you say nothing, they will continue to cheer, basically. But you can see at the far end of this room, like the center is kind of open. There's your band. Excuse me. Bless.
Bless you.
There, thank you. There's your band. There is the hunting party, or the crew of the Black Prince, though he is not here.
Good.
And at the very far end, in kind of an overhang, in a massive throne, is the queen herself. She is dressed for a party. Her bodice kind of sparkles like the night, and she sits under a deep, deep veil so that her court cannot see her face directly.
Seraphim is just going to mutter, stairs, my nemesis. And she kind of turns to the side because she's gonna have to go down sideways.
Yeah, like
to do like side leg, then another side.
I cast levitate so you can fly down there.
Oh, cute.
All right.
Ooh. And so in the air, she's just like legs just all over the place. Oh, do y'all see me? I'm floating down.
look at you.
She's beautiful. A couple people say things. They all look so good. I know.
But now, Seraphim, they're applauding.
And there's a lot of
Wave to the crowd.
whispering going on in the crowd, even though a few of them are still like golf clapping. And as all of you, including Seraphim's hooves, hit this bottom section, which is the open banquet floor, the queen stands. And as she does, her height gives way to silence in the room, and everybody stops and turns to her.
As she goes up, Lark goes down into full curtsy on the ground.
Yeah, Seraphim will follow.
Does Vannon and Theoden bow?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Big bows happen, and her voice booms out in that kind of rich, lustful way, and she says, "My darlings, do not bow in this court. We are here to celebrate you and your victories. Come closer."
Going to bow?
And she gestures for you to come closer.
Your Majesty, we are not worthy of your presence.
I am. Out of my way.
Vannon, do you cross?
He's just gone.
Yeah, I think I am every bit as distracted because I know that I'm safe, but I'm so scared.
Okay.
So yes, I will probably be the last, but yes.
Theoden, you get there
As soon as
first.
Theoden goes, Seraphim will kind of like
Creep behind.
Lark will sigh and just go.
Theoden, you meet kind of her area first. When you get there, there's another flight of stairs, of course, that lead up to the chair that she's sitting in. The chair to both her right and her left are empty. And as all of you kind of cross in, the crowd begins to make a circle around you, as if to also close in or get closer. And she smiles as she looks very much down on you, Theoden. And she says, "You seem eager to be back in the courts."
Oh, yes, I have missed you so dearly.
Missed me? What a quaint thought. You know, I have a way to trouble your dreams. If you prefer to assure I never leave your mind.
Oh. Oh, and what would I owe such a curse?
Oh, nothing but the orb of rule.
Oh.
And then she looks to the three of you. My
Vannon dry heaves, like very quietly, but
Very
like
good.
after that exchange is like, huh?
She goes, oh, and the rest of my dear party.
Huh?
There was a period of time I thought you unworthy of such a task, but I have sent many in your place who have never returned. You four. You are the warriors I needed, and it seems that gifting you my powers was the right choice.
Lark.
And the ones you deserved.
Lark goes into another deep bow. As we are not worthy of your presence, we have done as protocol demanded and bequeathed the orb to your trusted son, who shall present it to you.
Just gonna make a little roll here.
Uh,
I'm just gonna make a roll to see if she keeps her cool. She barely does. It is as if the air around her shudders, the way you might plunk a stone into a still water. Her hands tighten, and the majority of the people here cannot see her face, but the four of you are close enough. She struggles to keep her composure. You gave the orb to my son.
Of course. After all, were we to come before your presence and deliver it to ourselves? That would not be proper. We were not given so many instructions as to do so, and therefore we cannot invade your presence. So we did what we could and gave it to your trusted second.
Roll a persuasion check.
Absolutely, with advantage. Plus a d4.
I would love to help you in this, but I'm not sure how I could.
Bardic inspiration.
Unless I said
You
it.
have
yeah,
the
I'll give you
D4
bardic
and you have the
inspiration.
advantage, right?
You could do bardic inspiration.
Yes,
you
I will.
are.
I will then.
we
I will go.
can't fail. We can't fail this.
Then I rip out
Okay.
a small piece of paper and I give it to you. And
All
it
right,
says,
should I
"You
roll?
got
I
this."
definitely want to roll a d4. Okay. Are you giving me
24?
bardic?
Yes.
What do you
Okay,
do
was-
in the
it's a
midst of the
D10?
queen?
Hilarious.
D10. The D10.
Okay,
That's a 29.
so a 29. As you say this to the queen, the kind of anger in the air subsides just a little bit as she notices that the court might recognize her being upset. And Lark is right in so many ways. And she cannot get upset at you following structured order. Nonetheless, probably the order she herself set up. And she swallows that deep-seated anger. And she says, yes. Oh, my dear warriors. Always making the right choices. Baron Suvid. And she turns to her left, and out of the shadows pops this skeezy man. This is the man y'all hate so much. This guy.
The
This
skeezy
guy.
There he is.
There he is.
That's him.
She says, Baron Suvid, it seems my son is unfashionably late to his own party. Please,
I thought this was our part.
Dude.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
As you were.
retrieve him.
Huh?
And she looks over to his, crew, his, helping crew. The other skeezy guy, Caleb, is standing there, his foil at his side. Probably his nice one, because he may duel tonight for the party. And she says, and they can escort you.
Baron Suvid, though I do not wish to delay you, we also came into possession of something that belongs to you on our journey.
He looks to the queen to make sure he can speak because she has given him an order. And she seems curious now, and she squints her eyes and she says, Well, go ahead, Baron. Don't leave our guest waiting. And he says, Oh, yes, of course. Yes, Lady Lark, what is it?
I produced the eye.
There's from the crowd as everybody draws back. Some of them have never seen such a grotesque thing in their life presented in the courts as a single eyeball. And you can see his face drops into a state of shock.
You may all find this grotesque, but an eye is more precious than any gem you will ever behold. And you should act as such.
He tries to play it up and he says, I have no idea who this belongs to, because from what you can tell, he has both of his eyes.
Ah.
And he's like kind of looking around, and the queen is the one who says, Suvid, some humbleness, please. It sounds like it is time for you to reveal your greatest secret. What better party favor? And the Baron begins to kind of shake. You can see his hand, and he has a lot of shame as he brushes these golden locks away. And as he does, he casts some kind of magic or removal magic, and you can see that he is hideously disfigured on one side of his face. Burn marks, lost eye. Some of the women, in the courts, a lot of people turn their eyes, and the queen smiles from underneath her veil. And he says, this eye belongs to me, or did once.
It is my greatest pleasure to return your eye to you, my darling. After all, a life without sight, especially foresight, is painful indeed. Is it not, Baron Suvid?
And he sighs in such shame. He walks up with his head down to you, Lady Lark, and he does in fact take the eye from your hand, and he puts it back into his
I
skull.
lean forward. My dear Baron, I know what you did, and I know what you conspired to do. I can return your eye as easily as I can take it myself. Never forget that, darling.
Do you give it to
And
him
if you
willingly?
ever cross me again, you'll find out just how flimsy your position is. I do give it to him willingly.
And he takes it, and he puts it very, very shakily back into his face, and you see him look up. The scarring does not dissipate, though the eye fits perfectly, matching his other beautiful blue glazed eye. And he says, my lady, I am without words. Your kindness is no bounds. I owe you a great debt.
Yes, you do.
And he casts illusion magic again over the scarring, now not having to fake an eye, it is back. A lot of people have turned their eyes away. The queen continues to smile, and she says, as you were, Baron Suvid, my son. And he quickly bolts, the kind of crew of additional, of his hunting pack following, basically. Do you do anything after they exit? The door closes, click.
I imagine it took us some time to get dressed and ready.
Roughly about an hour.
Fantastic.
Just, that's when he said
What
he
the
would
prince
meet
does at this point
58
is
minutes just to make it tense.
his duty.
The queen says, well, since we have to wait on my son, which I greatly apologize for, let us take in some festivities, shall we? And she snaps one finger, and as she does, all these goblins pile out with like food on plates, and they put them along tables along the outside of the room. The band riles back up in a kind of waltz-like song. And the queen says, enjoy your party. I look forward to... Well, I guess we'll see how the night goes. And she takes her seat there.
Your kindness knows no bounds, Your Majesty.
You're right. It doesn't. And she says, Theoden, right?
Yes. Yes, of course. Yes. Yes, right.
This is how quaint. I see you are interested in, well, lustful ways.
Mm.
Here, I gift you a dance with the courtesan. In my honor. Dance with her as if you were to dance with me. From the crowd appears the head courtesan of these courts.
So awkward. I love it.
So
Okay.
awkward. So
Perfection.
so
Perform
very
well.
awkward.
Good.
She comes forward in this big gown, kind of the bouffant piece in the back, a tight corset. And you can see along, like, the midsection, she has this kind of red band that kind of ties it all together, I guess you would say. She has a hat and the works and gloves, and she comes over and she puts her hand out for you to take her to the dance floor.
I go and I reach, and then before I grasp it, I then look back at the queen and I say, "But your majesty, if I was to perform such a dance, then I believe all of the surprises and spoils will be granted to the courtesan. Is that what you wish? Because I would like to gift this to you, my queen, and I would like to not dance with the courtesan.
Not
and
dance with
maybe
the courtesan.
Persuade her.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Roll a persuasion check. And you're about to embarrass the courtesan. This is going to go so great for
I
everybody.
love this.
You did have advantage. It's a persuasion check. Y'all still have the spell on you, right?
It's
28.
Oh. Okay. The queen. So you got the 28.
Yes.
The queen sighs. And she says, "You're right. She's a bit used up."
And I said, Eric,
The courtesan blushes a bright red and hangs her head. And the queen says, "I will offer you a dance, Theoden. One.
very well.
But let me say this. If you do not have enough tricks for all the courtesans in my court, then what makes you think you're worthy of my hand? Now, come."
My tricks are not worthy of the courtesans in your court, silly goose. Get over here.
Oh,
The queen stands in the court. You hear people like, "Oh, the queen's gonna dance. Oh my god. And she gets up. She's much taller than you. Almost
Wonderful.
kind of enlarged in a way. And she comes down and she offers you her hand. You will need to make a performance check on your dancing.
sure.
Very
Because it
well.
doesn't matter if she
Say it
dances
in.
poorly. It doesn't.
It's not going to matter.
It doesn't
Let's
matter for her.
see what spells I have. Because I don't have a high performance.
You're a bard.
Bard!
Oh
I
boy.
have a high persuasion and deception.
He has other talents.
I am a spy for the court. Let me see here. There must be something.
Can we do anything to help this
I
along?
don't think we can. I was
I
just sitting
think.
here going,
Let me just take a look. Oh God. Oh God. Do I have anything? Do I have anything? Do I have anything?
So Seraphim, as this is all starting to unfold, is going to cast guidance on
oh hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
on Theoden, and I'm going to assume that he's willing,
So you can
because
take
that
a
will
D4.
Oh.
allow him to add a D4 to any ability check of his
Okay.
choice.
Seems like a good
All
ability
right,
check for that.
Thank you.
And she's going to reach forward and just like touch him on the arm and be like, "You better not mess this up."
Okay, thank you for the pressure. Yes.
Okay.
I'll try.
I will also pat Theoden on the back and cast Allure, which also gives him a D6 to a charisma check of his choice.
Oh my.
Um.
I inspire myself.
I was fucking, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like it's Theoden. You inspire yourself with
That's, you know
every
what? That's
day.
an excellent point.
Somebody
That
give
is
me a mirror.
You inspire yourself every day, Theoden.
every day.
I can do something
Theoden.
flavor-wise.
Oh, yeah, we'll take flavor.
Okay, so as part of my shadow sorcery, I can basically manipulate shadows around, but I can also cast illusion magic. So I can cast blur on the background, like basically the backdrop of everyone, so that all they see is each other. And I'll throw up some
Yes.
whippy shadows and stuff to make
Yes,
it all
yes,
magical
yes.
and shit.
Like
In
portrait
sheer-
mode in an iPhone.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Like portrait. I love that. Yeah. This kind
The
of
shadows trail where they dance.
Yeah, this kind of
Really
romantic
remarkable.
haze takes place to give a little bit of a mood setting as each of your friends pat you on the back for good luck, offering
Alright, I
you
have
a
a fail-safe.
D4 each. Is that correct?
A D6 from me and a
D6,
from
D4 to the performance check, which has advantage. It is a charisma check.
The music starts, my foot steps out onto the floor.
Oh, if you fail, I can help. If you fail, I can help.
good.
So
Well-
let's keep up. Let's go with that.
The
I just
shadow
realized
ivory heels knock on the floor as I then start to dance. The queen. What did I do? Okay, wonderful.
Reroll! Reroll! As
Reroll?
part of my magical guidance, reroll it. You have to take whatever it is, though.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Yeah.
take your
Way
D6
better.
and your D4.
Wowie, thank you for that.
Seraphim and
D6.
one in each hand is
D4.
gripping Lark and
Right.
Bannon.
So 3 more, 28.
28. We whisk across the floor. My shoes ever the silent as my grace graces this wonderful hall with my presence.
At a 28, you whisk the queen around this floor. There's a moment where you don't know if you are leading or she is leading.
And that's the beauty of it.
and that's the
I mean,
beauty of it.
It's actually on her, but it's actually me. You
With
don't
the
really know, but
dancing
only I know.
shadows provided,
Yes.
the queen and you move very effortlessly through the crowd of people that are actually dancing around you. As you pass, people ooh and ah. And it is rather successful. But while she is in danced embrace with you,
I do lift her at one moment, and as I do, I cast invisibility on both of us. And then when she lands, I put her and I catch her, and I dip her, and I go, I want this only to be for us. And then we continue dancing. into the
interesting.
empty hall.
In the dip, in the invisible dip, she
Incredible.
freezes time for a moment, slows it down,
Nice.
and she says,
Uh,
Theoden,
Mm-hmm.
my most loved, tell me the truth.
Yeah.
What is it you desire?
And I think I go in for a kiss. This was me thinking, not me going in for a kiss, but I am
You think
I'm
it.
going to. Yep, and then I go, and then I do it. And then I go in and I go for a kiss, and I give her a big smooch, and then I want to cast Kiss of the Succubus.
That's gonna be
Do
a
it.
hard check, because she's the queen of night magic, but we'll see.
Oh, I will cast Lovesick instead. That is this thing here.
Okay.
As I
I'm
kiss her.
working this.
Uh-huh.
Spell creates and behaves unpredictably. Concentration up to 1 minute. Wisdom saving throw. Okay. Okay.
Unluck on that.
Okay, you're gonna unluck it because she will have advantage on the wisdom
Invisible.
save.
So that
Okay.
means she rolls normally.
Okay, so the first one, a 9, basically.
9.
She takes with a bonus. Her wisdom is very high, very very high.
No doubt of that.
Here's what happens.
Damage from this? No, I don't think so.
She kisses you and you cast this spell. And as your lips unbind, she smiles. And she says, Oh, Theoden, your charms will not work on me. But your natural charm has.
Oh. Isn't that great?
I feel in my loins that something is afoot this evening. I do not know what it is. And I have a feeling that you cannot tell me. But whatever happens, know this. You are now bound to me. Not by magic, not as patronage, but as a thrall. My most loved thrall. Wherever they go, you will go. And she runs her very large, kind of spindly hand with fingernails down your face in this frozen dip.
I'm enthralled. Yep, I am
And she
just...
says, You have been a beautiful spy, and you will continue to do so. And each time you return to me, I will gift you one kiss. Only one. And each time, our passion will grow stronger. Dream of me, Theoden. Every night for eternity. And as you pull her out of this dip, time picks back up. The band continues the waltz, and it comes to a resounding end as the door creaks open.
You fade back in as I dispel invisibility.
And as you back in, the door opens, and there stands our dear Baron Suvid. His head is bowed. The team of the princes is behind them. Or behind him. And the queen says, I'm feeling rather refreshed. I hope you bring good news. And he says, Your Majesty, I'm here to reveal to you that your son has taken Flea. Through the labyrinth and to the tower, we are unable to retrieve him.
Oh no!
She kind of pushes you away, Theoden. It's like face, hand to palm kind of a face, and she says, I do not understand. What do you mean he has taken Flea? It seems, Your Majesty, that he has fallen under the thrall of the Orb of Rule and has taken his rightful place as king of the Fey Courts. Her head slowly turns to all four of you. This is your doing. This is your doing.
How could it possibly be our doing? We only did what we were meant to do.
Your loyalties may be in the right place, but your purpose is not. Baron, send a dragonette to deliver a message to my dear son. I will visit him, as is writ, in the spring, when I rule the labyrinth and the castle. And he and I will sort out our political differences then. As for the four of you, you are banished from these courts to wander aimlessly among the plain of shadows. You will not return, but unless I choose for you to. Baron, while you're at it, send a few more dragonettes. Tell all those that matter that anyone who aids them will be marked an enemy of the Queen of Night and Magic. Vannin, you bear my mark. You will continue to bear my mark, so that I will know exactly where you are at all times. Lady Lark, may you wander aimlessly as your parents did.
You?
Was it Seraphim?
I don't think I ever told you my name.
No. Well, nameless one. You too can wander aimlessly among this place.
Oh, that'll be new.
You'll want to know. You have helped the man who hunt your people in the Margrave Forest. It is his favorite hunting ground.
They
Well-
lie.
I guess he won't be hunting them anymore, will he?
Is it a lie? Did you ask if it was a lie?
That he told her, yeah.
Seraphim? Yes.
Can Shadowfae lie?
The prince can with a high enough,
yeah.
check. And technically, he doesn't know where her people are. He just
Right.
hunts them.
Yeesh. her people could mean her family.
I have a
and he doesn't
question.
know.
When she says we're banished, are we supposed to teleport and do we go anywhere?
Not yet, because she has one more person.
Not yet. Oh boy.
My dear Theoden, we have struck a deal. You two are now bound to me. Walk with your friends. And do not return until you have something worthy.
Very well.
Well,
Leans in for a hopeful kiss.
she does not offer that to you. Not this time. Instead, she pulls her veil back down. She spins and she says, "Courts of the Shadow Fae. Escort them all to the entrance."
My queen. I should inform you that your son bound us to the court.
That's funny. See, you think the orb actually gives him power. It doesn't. It simply assures that he doesn't go anywhere. It is a useful tool, and what I thought was my rise to power. It looks like I will have to find 4 new, willing subjects to enter the labyrinth and remove the new moonlit king from his position. But that is not
And if
your
you
will.
banish us, none will survive.
Maybe, but that is not your concern anymore.
Oh, no. Specifically, it will be my concern. For you've banished me to the labyrinth. I will kill every single one that you send.
No, I have not banished you to the labyrinth. I've banished you out of the courts of the Shadow Fae
You've banished us
entirely.
outside the courts and have no power outside of this court. The labyrinth is outside your rule. I can go there if I wish and kill every single one of your envoys for all of eternity.
You can dedicate your life over and over to slaying what's in that labyrinth, and each and every time I will repopulate it. And it is within my domain. It is within my courts. How do you think I put the king there to begin with? I am sorry, Lark Grail. Please, Nameless One. Did you have something
Oh.
to say?
You know, we're banished anyway. I might as well. Whenever you said about the king, how did you think you got the king into the into the tower? I was going to say because you're unpleasant.
Oh, that's probably true as well. But it's a good thing I didn't wake up this morning worried about what you thought.
Oh.
Courts, take this as a learning opportunity. Anyone can take up the Orb of Rule. But not anyone can stay inside my courts. Please escort them to the front entrance, and may the plane of shadows swallow you whole.
My queen, and I bow my deepest bow I've ever done. I think probably while somebody's pulling me away.
Hey, you didn't really.
Yes,
You haven't seen the last of me, my queen.
nor I.
I'm pretty sure you've seen the last of me, so bye.
I don't think Theoden says anything to her.
As we leave, I reach into my pouch and grab the bottle. Make her life hell, and I'll free you.
Wait, who's in the bottle?
The Celestial.
The little celestial.
Oh my god!
There's a little chubby celestial face that like presses up to the glass, and she goes, "Okay,
Promise me.
promises." And as you pluck this cork, you can hear the court start to rise up. They begin to push you out of the hall. They start throwing food at you.
Okay.
They start throwing drink. Things are breaking. There's a few people that are like, boo, get out of here. It's the exact opposite vibe as when you entered. Even the goblins themselves take part in shaming you out the front door. But as you the bottle, nobody can notice that the Celestial has been freed to roam about once again the Queen's courts without her knowledge. There's a twinkling of light as it exits off. And all of you are left standing outside the castle of the Queen of Night and Magic on a kind of rickety dirt path that leads out and away into the Plane of Shadows. And from this hilltop, you can see it in its darkness. There is no sunlight. There is no changing of seasons. It is simply a vast, dark place. Color fades. Dense forest beckons off to the left. And off to the right, an empty plain of just about nothing except for a small river that runs with black shadow. The door closes heavily behind you with a thud.
That could have gone worse.
Would it?
That
Oh,
was
it
a terrible
certainly could
adventure.
have. What do we do now?
Well,
Find a power greater than hers as we wander the Shadowfell as she ordered.
Well, what is our goal? To leave the Shadowfae, or how bitter
Lead
are
or
we?
leave? How good are we?
How
I
bitter
think-
are we?
Oh, quite.
I'm perfectly fine. I think, except
yeah,
for,
hopeless
of
is what
course,
you are.
Why did she say? She called him a thrall, didn't she?
She did.
Mm-hmm.
Was it only to me?
It looks like we need someone to remove that too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, I remember
We won't
hearing
get-
that the bear folk are pretty strong.
that's true. We should go there. Maybe we can find my parents on the way.
As you
Lead
say
as
that,
any.
down near the end of this kind of walk path that actually touches and bridges her kingdom to the Shadow Plane, run in 5 horses. Excuse me, 4 horses. You're not in 5. 4 horses, black. They once belonged to the prince. They were part of his hunting party. They pull up at the end as if waiting for you to take them and mount them.
I look at Seraphim.
Well, that's once again, he's very unhelpful. He's not helpful to me at all. I think he's doing this on purpose. Look at this. He didn't even bring
Almost
the dryad over here. This is terrible. What am I going to do with the horse?
Can I polymorph Seraphim into a human?
I mean, you can. But as you get close to the horses, you hear some rustling from an empty, like, thorny, what's left of a thorn bush nearby. And the dryad actually steps out. The prince may
Apparently
not
he's not
have
as
rule.
powerless as we thought.
He may not have rule over the queen and her courts, but he does have rule over the labyrinth.
Nice.
Seraphim's going to go over.
Remind me, he does rule the court though one season, right?
No. The queen only rules her court. She rules his tower one season. She, like,
So where does he go?
He stays in the tower with her.
Oh God.
Oh,
Vacation.
no.
Terrible
Yeah,
deal.
it's her
Oh, that sounds
vacation
awful.
and his dreadful
Yeah.
vibes. Yeah.
When the boss arrives to work for a day. I'm just here to watch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just
right.
here, annual
go
review
on,
or
go
whatever.
on.
Excuse.
Yeah, the
You
annual
can
review.
imagine that
What
she
an awful
probably.
place to have a vacation.
I know, right? But the dryad does step forth, and she looks at you in that kind of like she's a very strange fae, in a certain way, or like and she kind of has a strange look. But she does say thank you. I imagine this is your doing.
Yes, yeah. Well, yes. Me was my doing. Seraphim kind of looks back at the rest of them. Yeah, my name's Seraphim. You may remember me from a few days. How? I don't even know the passing of time anymore. But you may remember me from the bobbed demon devil.
I
Bobby.
remember you.
Yeah. We were passing through, and it seemed like.
Are you all lost?
Well,
Terribly.
yeah, we haven't really figured out where we're going just yet.
Well, You could follow me.
Do you want to get on a horse?
She does. She can technically mount the horse. But she doesn't. She says, actually, I was hoping that maybe I could catch a ride on you.
Well, I just Seraphim's gonna like kind of trot and look at everyone and be like, and then she's gonna turn back around. Yeah, I would be honored, of course. And she kind of scoots down to get lower.
Yeah. She kind of hops on. There's not a saddle or anything, but she kind of grabs what little tufts of hair you might have to hang on, and she notices your horns. She says, "Oh, it's so sad." And she boops the horns, and these kind of vines, dense vines begin to writhe forward and shape out into horns. And she goes, "There you go, until yours come back." And she says,
"They're beautiful."
Well, my magic takes to those who wear it. That's her telling you you're beautiful. And she says, "We should go. There is distaste in the air, and we have a long ride to the forest."
Yeah, it's getting kind of weird here. You all ready?
Yes, I'm
indeed.
very ready.
Let's go.
Let's go. And
Let's
off
party.
you start to ride.
Frantically start writing this down as the ride starts.
Yeah, and these black horses made of kind of shadow and black fire tear across the horizon, leading all of you away from the courts of the Shadow Fae and deeper into the plane of shadows towards one of the forests. In fact, the same forest that is opposite the ones in the Margrave. It's basically opposite the Margrave. And as you ride off, the camera pans back over to the castle. You can see through the camera view. Actually, it's a squirrel. A squirrel, like, up to the top and, like, peers in
Where
over.
was the camera?
Right? Yeah, we're the squirrel camera now. Peers over and sees the goblins breaking the party down. Hears the rumors and whispers now, something new to talk about in the courts. We witness the sobbing courtesan whose reputation has been ruined in a single night by a man she so desperately loved. But the squirrel continues, unhinged as it grabs maybe a biscuit or something on its way, traveling up the spiral tower, all the way up, and out and down a window to the queen's quarters. She lays in her bed, already fast asleep for the night. The squirrel nibbles this biscuit and watches as a quaint celestial from the corner steps out of the shadows with a pair of scissors. And she begins to cut the Queen of Night and Magic's hair. Psst. 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 The squirrel almost chokes on the biscuit as it looks at her, looks out the window at all of you on the horizon, trotting across. And the camera cuts to black.
Yes.
As we end this season of the Courts of the Shadow Fae.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so glad I remembered I had that thing in a bottle.
Me too. I'm
Correct.
so glad you
Yes.
remembered that too. I really, really am.
Oh, so good.
It is so good.
So good.
Well, that's it. We're this part of our adventure has concluded. This has been Courts of the Shadow Fae, which is a campaign. Everybody, you can grab yourself. There
Doesn't
were parts
look like
of this
this.
that ran away
And
with
it'll probably be
itself.
completely different than ours.
This is so beautiful. I loved every ounce of this. I'm gonna go
Yes,
around and let you
yes.
all. This is, of course, our finale for at least this season. So remind everybody where they can find you when you're not over here giving your talents to Kobold Press, and hype up. Give us maybe a favorite moment out of the run of this, or that thing that just you really loved and stuck with you. Let's just give a little love to either yourself or somebody else at the table. And we're gonna go backwards because that's how I do. So it actually, Cord, you're up first.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's me. What are we doing? We're talking about ourselves and then saying something.
Yeah, tell everybody
about-
where they can find you when you're not here,
Right.
and maybe something you loved from the run of the game.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So yeah, wowie. All right, I'm gonna start with what I loved about the game. I loved the entire time. Everybody's like, "Oh, don't do this, Theoden," and it's like, well, Theoden. My only goal for Theoden was try to bang Queen. So it was just the entire time, like whether or not it is a curse or a thrall or whatever, it'll always be that's his goal. So, yeah, and it's just no matter what, just hopelessly in love with the Queen. So it's been super awesome with how everybody was playing with that, and just being able to play with all of you and having my favorite. Like, this is a really great episode. I really enjoyed. I think honestly, the dance was probably was really cool because of just how much I think Theoden was revealing, but also not revealing because he cast invisibility, how much he really does want to woo her and charm her. And it's like, like everything has been a show up until now. This is just for us.
I mean, you kind of got what you wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the Queen
I think
yearns for that.
Blind to it, though.
Oh, for sure. As she
just,
wants everybody blind to love for her, right? Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
No, I thought it was great, and I loved the way everybody used magic in the courts, and it was like small magic, really. It wasn't like anything super flashy. It was all very small magic in that moment to help Theoden get to where he needed to be. I thought it was such great, cool. So great.
We've been able to use a lot of subtle and like social magic in this entire campaign. It's been very nice.
I think we all built like social casters, which has been super
we did.
Cool. Yeah. I didn't even make a performing bard, so.
Yeah, I mean, you almost did. You were kind of on your way to possibly being head of the bard of the courts, but you had to go and woo the Queen.
Oops. Oopsie. Oh, right. So as for me, I'm Cord. You can follow me at Mythomatic anywhere across Twitch and the internets. I do content creation, a producer, voice actor, and dungeon master for Table Stories Spellwind, which is my own homebrew game and own homebrew world. You can find on patreon.com/Spellwind, or you can just Google Spellwind and try the Spellwind challenge, which is just watch episode 1. And that's it. Just try it. That's that. That's me. Thank you so much. Follow me on the things. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah. That takes us backwards to Persephone.
Hello, I'm Persephone, aka Persephonoth. I am the DM of Fast Times at D&D High. You can find it on Twitter at FastTimesD, the letter N D at Twitter, whatever. I'm also a variety leaning towards becoming a full-time Pokemon streamer on Twitch.
Please tell me you're playing Pearl and Diamond right now.
I am, although people voted. So tonight, after this, I'm going to be doing a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Shield. That's the pink lock. I can only use pink or majority pink Pokemon.
Oh my god, I love that. That's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So that's what I'll be doing after this. I also I do a lot of tabletop stuff outside of my own podcast. Like here, I did Dimension 20 Season 7. So follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and anywhere else there's a Persephonoth, and you'll find me.
Yay!
Oh, and favorite moments. I just love going toe-to-toe on manipulation with Vannon. I just like backing one and like one going back and forth and just doing that. That was fun. The conversation with the prince was great, and I'm glad I got to convince him that I'm a loyal and
now he's yearning for you in a tower somewhere for all eternity.
Yeah, he can stay there. You know, maybe haven't gotten all the goals, but I got one.
Well, we can't always get everything. You did walk out with your lives.
Yeah, and now we can do whatever we fucking want, honestly.
Yeah.
It could have been worse.
It could. Oh, could it have? Oh boy, could it have? Yes, please go make sure to follow Persephone. Fast Times is wonderful as a podcast consumer myself. Highly recommended. Yes. Highly recommended. Let's jump over that. Makes it Eugenio's turn.
Hey everybody, I'm Eugenio. I'm DM Jazzy Hands. You can find me here and on the Twitters at DM Jazzy Hands. What's coming up? Tomorrow I am finishing Mass Effect. I know I've been saying this for weeks, but I think tomorrow I will actually finish Mass Effect 3 on my channel. So coming out, I start at 2 Eastern. Thank you also for those. I know there were some folks who I recognized from this chat over with me last Tuesday for my fundraiser for
nice.
Charity Water. We raised a little over $750 in just a few hours. So thank you all for that. Thanks for coming out and helping. And then so this tomorrow I'll finish Mass Effect on my channel, come hang out, and then Wednesday I'm back here with Dot. I'm so excited. This is all announced now, so I can actually say
you
words.
totally can.
I can. My weekly D&D podcast that's been going on for about 4.5 years now, The Last Refuge, is partnering with Kobold Press and One More Multiverse, a really cool 8-bit virtual tabletop. And we are starting a 4-week story this Wednesday that I think you've called Fimbulwinter, yeah?
Fimbulwinter. Yeah, Fimbulwinter.
Yeah. We are set up in the Northlands of Midgard, and it's going to be me. I'm the DM for the podcast, but I get to play on this one. My story consultant from the podcast, who very rarely gets screen time, so I'm excited to have him with us, Robert, and then 2 of my players, Alex, who plays Flick, if you're familiar, and Lydia, who plays Vizdira. And we start up tomorrow. I'm super excited.
Yeah, little Wednesday action.
Yeah, and then if any of you are in the San Diego area, I'm going to be at Comic-Con this weekend,
Nice.
running a live game of Into the Motherlands on Saturday evening, but I'll be around all weekend, so if you're in that area, going to be at San Diego Comic-Con, hope to see you there.
Very nice.
Oh, favorite thing, God,
Yes.
everything. I just, in general, it is such a pleasure to play with the 3 of you as another PC, because your characters are so clear at every moment. And though I never can anticipate what any of you will do, it always makes perfect sense, and that's really exciting to me. I guess if I had to pick like one moment, like just the way that all of us tied things from the whole season into this ending. You in particular, of course, Dot, are amazing at that, and it's one of the things I love about playing with you. But Fox bringing the Dryad back, and Sephi making sure that we got the Baron in on the whole thing once we were back at the court, and of course, not that we ever forgot, Cord, what your overall goal was, but I'm so glad we got to a place with it tonight. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
It's so weird when I'm not the one that's trying to bang everyone in a campaign. It's so weird.
Welcome. Yeah, it's a switch.
I went out of my box this time.
All right, and Fox, bring us home.
Yes, so hello. I am Rocket Fox. You can find me in all the places where Rocket Foxes can be found. Most often on Instagram, because Twitter scares me, and also over on my own on my own Twitch channel, where I am actually in the process of redoing my schedule, and I'm also going to be out of town for the holidays. So I'm going to be away until a week from Wednesday, in which case I will be coming back in the afternoon to be bringing some more Biomutant to your face. So hold on to your butt for that. But then I will also be coming out with a new schedule, brand new, and upcoming with some fundraising events and stuff like that, with storytelling and some music and things of that nature. And I also do have a podcast called Fantastically Strange, which is both fantastic and strange. And I do have to say, it's fairly new. I'm only on the 2nd season, but I did just hit 3,000 downloads, so I was really excited.
Yes, congrats!
Thank you. But yeah, so check it out if you like weird things. It's potentially for your ear holes. And as far as things that I love, I loved really. This is a cheap answer, but I loved everything. It was such an absolute pleasure and honor to play along such talented and awesome people with such an amazing GM. I think everybody's characters were absolutely fantastic. And I loved, especially in the past couple episodes, where everybody, we may have gone a little off the rails as far as, integrating into the court, but it felt real good. It felt exactly the way it felt like
this group needed to integrate into
That's correct.
Yeah,
correct. And like everybody, just the character arcs of everyone, how like Vannon started off being like, the queen, to the queen, and like
never meet your heroes.
Yeah, that's the truth.
unless you're Theoden.
That's also
Okay, that's not heroes. That's a different kind of hero worship. So
yeah, I mean, maybe it's never sleep with your heroes, because that hasn't happened yet. So I mean, maybe that's gonna be a whole nother thing. But no, I mean, I'll
get back to you on that one if that's
but like Lark, belonged in the court. Like every single time that those cutting words, I was just like, oh damn, yeah, that's it hurt me from a distance, vicariously, and I loved it. You know, and and Theoden just, oh man, I wanted to slap him in the best of ways. Just like, you're only gonna hurt yourself and possibly all of us. But yeah, being able to, it really felt like playing, which is, anytime I feel like you can be in a situation that feels like that, I think is a real joy and a treat. So a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. A little
bit of it all.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice, y'all. This has been an absolute pleasure. When we started this 2 seasons ago, I knew I wanted to run Courts of the Shadowfae because I'm obsessed with like courtly intrigue, and I thought this was a really, really interesting one. And I knew when I brought this crew to the table, it was gonna be choice. I just knew it, and I was not disappointed because I had no idea what you were all gonna do there at the end. I had no idea, and I thought your decisions were amazing. Of course, they were totally off book. Nowhere in the book is it like, what if they give it to somebody else? Like, what if they decide not to keep it or destroy it or claim the throne for themselves? What if they just give it
Destroying
away?
it never crossed my mind, actually. I didn't
me
think it could
either,
be
now that you
destroyed.
say that. How clever.
It's like, yo, Prince, I heard you like orbs, so we brought you some.
So yeah, here you go. So yeah, just a very what I thought was actually a little bit more of a politics move. Like, it was a big political move because what the queen wanted was no more king, and what you all did was seat somebody. You skipped the entire political process, everything the queen wanted you to seat to somebody, and you managed to leave with a button in each of your pockets. Which means because there's now a king, those buttons are still good. And as you continue to like crawl across the plane of shadows, you basically have the Moonlit King's seal
approval.
Yeah, you know, so it should be you know, maybe there is a 3rd season in the works, chat. You know, that's something you can shout at Kobold Press about. It's kind of how we got to season 2. And of course, if you want to actually catch the rest of this, it is over on YouTube, so you can catch season 1, season 2, see how things went, how they did, and what dare might be on the horizon for them, shall I say the plane, for them, as they move into the Plane of Shadows, which of course is now becoming available as a setting book. So just in time, in the new year, hopefully it'll drop, and maybe we can rally this crew back together again.
Heck yeah.
Rally the crew back together and see what other kind of shenanigans they can sort out.
What's wonderful is that in the book, this option doesn't exist. But here, now forever on the internet, this option exists.
This option now officially exists, yeah. So just give your orb of rule to somebody else, problem solved. Queen dissolves you of
Make
everything.
it someone else's problem.
Yeah, make it somebody else's problem.
Exactly.
Which I thought was great. And you know, the Queen of Night and Magic is not everybody is a fan of her along the rest of the plane. So you may actually have made friends you didn't even know you were going to have.
Oh, we're going to make her life
She's going to wake up tomorrow so unhappy that her hair has been cut.
She's going to wake up tomorrow thinking about how Seraphim thinks of her.
Yes, tomorrow she will be concerned about how Seraphim thinks about her. I think somebody in chat said she's getting the proper Hillary Clinton cut, and now I can't actually imagine it any other way. Like, she's just going to wake up with that god-awful hairdo.
Can't wait.
Well,
I love it. Can't wait.
I would say I have one favorite thing, but honestly, you all kept me on my toes. You know, things like wooing the dryad, wooing the queen. These things I can't plan for, and you keep me on my toes, which means I also get to continue to make interesting choices. And I thrive when I'm at a table full of people that are making really bold, daring, and sometimes smart choices. Other times just dramatic ones. But
just big ones.
But those things keep the table fun and exciting. And there's no amount of GM planning that will ever account for having a table full of just really talented and wonderful people. So
you're so sweet.
So that's what I have to say about that. That's actually all I've got to say. Make sure you come back here on Wednesday. It is Thanksgiving week here in the States, so we're going to be a little light on the channel this week, but we are launching the brand new series Fimbulwinter. If you like Nordic lore, you're going to love this. Fimbulwinter is, of course, the series of events that lead up to Ragnarok. So you can tune in and check that out. It's kind of something new and different with the podcast crew, something new and different with One More Multiverse. And you'll get to see the excessive world that I have built for them in the Northlands. It's just outrageous. I've spent so much stupid amount of time in a build engine. It's not even funny. So lots of really cool stuff there. And then the following week after Thanksgiving, we'll also be launching this Wednesday. We'll start Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. The week following after Thanksgiving, we'll be launching one more new campaign as well. It will be an extended campaign run of Empire of the Ghouls. So if you need a little dark... actually, more technically, that all takes place inside of the Plane of Shadows too, because the ghouls live inside the Plane of Shadows. So, a little bit of that coming on. That'll be on Tuesdays, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So keep an eye out on our social media. We'll be announcing some more of that stuff. And if you joined us from Warriors of Waterdeep, thank you for being here. Thanks for claiming a link. Thanks for just chilling with us. And we'll be doing more of those links as our campaigns continue. So you can always drop by, claim your gems, and get a little dice roll and storytelling. Y'all, I hate to say that that's it, but I really think that is the end. All wonderful things must come to an end, and here we are at the end of this adventure. So thank you again if you have supported, if you've watched our YouTube. You can go search us at Kobold Press, but I believe it's /C/Kobold Press. Double check me on that. I don't have the link for you, but right. Yeah. So until next time, everybody, we'll see you back. Same Kobold time, same Kobold channel for more action, more dice playing, more storytelling, and hopefully for these faces once again. Thanks for coming on this journey with us, everybody. Bye.
Bye.